You know, another question that I hear often with people, skeptics or people that are not sure, or maybe they want to be a Christian, they're not sure they want to be a Christian. How can we know for sure that Jesus rose from the grave? You know, some skeptics say, well, he wasn't really dead. You know, he was kind of resuscitated, and so, you know, he came back alive, or he came alive, but he really wasn't dead. Could you speak to some of the evidences then around the resurrection?
Probably one of the greatest truths to my own heart is the New Testament followers to realize that you may follow a man who claims to be the Son of God, but you're there and you see him die. You see him taken down off the cross and taken to a borrowed tomb. But they said they saw him alive. Someone may say, well, they may not have been telling the truth. When you're willing to tell the truth to the point of spilling your own blood to the reality, a person will not die for an absolute known lie. So they would not lie to themselves to the point of giving their own lives. And yet, 11 of the 12 disciples actually died in martyrdom, including the half-brother, James. James, the Bible tells us Jesus had 4 half-brothers. 2 of them, Jude and James, gave us New Testament books. James did not become a believer until after he saw his half-brother alive. And then he went on to pastor a church in Jerusalem and became so committed that tradition has it that he was clubbed to death because of his faith. You're not going to live and give your life in martyrdom for something that's not true. We have on one occasion in the New Testament over 500 people saw him alive. So there's so many verifiable evidences there. But to the Christian in our own life, we have that opportunity by faith to say, hey, if this is not real, I have prayed a prayer and it meant nothing. But now I'm in my 38th year of having trusted Christ, and he's as real to me today as he's ever been. And the old songwriter put it well, you ask me how I know he lives within my heart. And the Bible makes statements like this in Romans 8:16, that the Spirit of God bears witness with our spirit. There's a person who not only invades our life, but is alive, and he verifies himself and validates himself with his presence, his power, his provisions in the life of the believer.
Yeah, I can understand if maybe one of the 12 disciples or 2 of them would have given their life, you know, for what they said they saw. But for 100% of them, of course, Judas being the other one that took his own life,
right.
But for 100% of those 11 to die for what they said was the true resurrected living Lord, I would appeal to anybody to really take that to heart and to say, why would they do that? You know, really, there's no conspiracy, I think, that could stand up to that kind of proof. So
when you think about the culture in which we live in our world, there's religions today that will take your life for not believing their message. But Christianity is the only relationship that you'll give your life in order that others may know the message.
Oh, wow, that is so true.